Hello everyone and welcome to my show, FitLife, Healthy Mind and Body. My name is Natalia Kotowska and I will be your host. This is the UK Health Radio, the world's #1 talk health radio. With over 13 years of international experience in sport and fitness, years of study, I would like to share my experience, knowledge, and most importantly, my endless love and passion for living a healthy lifestyle for my mental and physical well-being. On this show, we will be talking about fitness, sport, healthy living, nutrition, fitness facts, and more. We will be answering your questions, we will have guest speakers, and what's most important, we will exercise together. Yes, you heard me right. In every episode, we will have a healthy dose of exercises that we will do together. So we won't just talk about fit life, we will actually experience the fit life together. Are you ready? Then let's go. It is very well advised to exercise to lift your mood and lose some pounds after pregnancy. But how exactly can we do it with newborns, young children, and limited childcare? How to find the time? Today's show topic is how to fit exercising and looking after your physical and mental health into mommy's life. After being awake through the night and looking after children all day, sometimes the last thing you want is to move from the sofa once you put your little ones to bed. However, exercise can make us feel and look better and healthier, so it is well worth the investment of your time. Our guest today is Poppy Haskell, new mom, full-time model and influencer. Poppy studied at the University of Portsmouth, and it was in 2017, not long after finishing her studies, where she was crowned Miss Swimsuit UK. She went on to represent the UK at the International Swimsuit USA World Finals in Punta Cana, Mexico. She was also one of the contestants on the reality show called Celebs Go Dating, where she was dating Pete Wicks, the only way is Essex star. Poppy, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining slightly earlier. I was thinking, if you're ready, then let's start it.
Yeah, baby's sleeping, so it's a good time.
Amazing. Okay, so first and foremost, thank you so much for accepting the invitation on my behalf and UK Health Radio. It's a pleasure to have you, Poppy. Thank you for taking your time from your such a busy schedule right now. Being a mom must be very, very difficult and challenging to have any spare time for yourself.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. But yeah, we are timing this on a nap, so hopefully he stays asleep.
Let's hope. If not, we're going to just involve him in our little interview that we have right now. All right, so Poppy, tell us more about yourself. Who are you, what you're doing, a little bit more of your background, because I want our listeners to understand why we have you here today with us.
So I'm Poppy, was a full-time model. I'm part-time at the moment, as obviously my little boy is only 2 weeks. I actually did media at uni, and I used to be a journalist for a few years, but hated being in the office, so took the plunge to model. Been doing a lot of traveling since then, a lot of video work, and yeah, now I'm a mum, so a bit of a change, but I'm trying to incorporate it all together, which is quite nice because you can still be quite creative with baby brands. So far so good.
Did you say he's only 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. I didn't even know about it. And look at you coming back to work like no one else's business, jumping right back in.
Yeah.
you just love to work. You wouldn't take more time to yourself. No, you just wanted to.
It actually ties in with one of the questions. I think it was something about how do you keep your mental health when you're a mum. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people said you need to slow down, you need to take care of yourself, but some people, including me, feel a lot better when I'm productive.
That's me too. I would be just like you.
It makes me feel better to do something for myself, put on makeup, put on a nice outfit, and not just be a scruffy mum, which I think is fine, but for me that makes me feel depressed. So yeah, I'd rather get stuck in.
I have those conversations with my boyfriend all the time. Like, listen, if I'm going to be a mom, don't think I'm going to be stay-at-home mom. I need to move.
Yeah, you have to
be on the go.
Absolutely. So
our subject today is how to fit exercise into mommy's life. I think it's a very important subject because we female tend to take so many roles on ourselves, and then we tend to forget about, just like we're speaking right now, mental health, physical health. That is super important. Just because you're a mom or wife or businesswoman, whatever it is, that does not mean that you should forget about yourself, your mental health, your well-being. So that's why I was thinking, why not bring someone like yourself, who is fitness person, a model, who works for collaborate with such a big organization, which is the Miss Swimsuit UK. So I was thinking, why not speak about this time? And especially now you have this 2-week old little baby lying right there. So it's amazing. So again, thank you so much. But tell us more about Miss Swimsuit UK. You're a former winner, 2017, if I remember well. You being into, of course, because it's competition that exposes your body and shows the beauty of female's body, which is all the curves, all, we present everything in the swimwear. So tell us more how that fit into your mommy's lives and duties.
It's really interesting because I'm a big advocate for not putting pressure on mums to bounce back. But then that's a weird angle for me to have, because obviously I am a model. So if I want to work, I do need to be in shape. So for me, especially having a C-section where you're not allowed to do anything for 6 weeks that's extensive, I can only go for walks. So I've just been making sure that I do that 25 power walk every single day, because I do want to feel good in my body. I do want to get back to something that resembles what I was before I had him. But I also don't want to put out the message that I think other people should bounce back. I think if your career is something which isn't relying on your body, then take the time, do what you want to do. But my personal journey, it is going to involve a lot of exercise. I think even because then mentally you feel a lot better as well. Mm-hmm. So at the moment in this heat, it's just been little walks around the beach, around the seaside. But that's all I can do at the moment. But then after that, I think it will be getting a PT so that I can really get back to feeling completely me.
Right, I didn't know you had a C-section. That's a big change for your body, isn't it?
Yeah, not by choice. It was an emergency one. It was not good. Mm-hmm. But we're still here to tell the tale, so recovery's good.
How is your recovery from that? How is your body reacting?
To be honest with you, I didn't realise how difficult it would be to have a C-section. I almost thought that some of these posh mums who book them in were taking an easy option, but you're really not. Your scar is extremely tender. I was so looking forward to laying on my stomach and not being pregnant anymore, but I still can't. You have to take blood thinning injections that you have to either take yourself or get your partner to do, which is, the thought of it is awful. I finished those now though. I had 10 days, so they're all done and dusted, thank God. But you can barely lift your baby. So for the first few days, it's really intense. But then that's another thing. I haven't done a lot of arm exercises, but holding him is like doing weights. So he's helping. But I feel now that we've hit, I think 15 days, I feel a lot better and a lot more like myself, which is good.
You mentioned you lifting your baby. How heavy is he?
He was 7.2. Which is pounds. I don't know what you'd put that in.
I think is it 360, something like this? 360 grams. 3.6 grams, I think.
When feeding for ages, it feels a lot in this position. So all these muscles I can feel are in use, which is good.
Mm-hmm. And next month you're coming back to this Miss Swimsuit UK, and then so tell us more about this organization and what do you do for them, and you're going to be back in your beautiful gowns, and how you feel about it after the pregnancy, and being around models that not necessarily understand your point of view as a mom right now, or maybe your body. How does that make you feel?
So the amazing thing about Miss Swimsuit UK is that it is very inclusive. So we have actually had quite a lot of mum winners who, I don't know how, but they've got their six packs, they've got their curves, they look amazing. But even if someone did have, say, stretch marks on their body, but they've still done a really good job to get into amazing shape, that wouldn't be something that would mean that they couldn't compete. Like, they see everything as beautiful. They say, it's all perspective. And if they've got a story to tell and a journey, then they're celebrated just as much as someone who would be mainstream, aesthetically more pleasing, if that makes sense. But yeah, it is a bit daunting because I've always been extremely trim and very, very slim. And my waist has always been tiny. And obviously my body is different now. It is more curvy. So I don't know, maybe I will feel slightly less confident, but I'm going to try and not be like that, because I think that sends out the wrong message to people. So yeah, fingers crossed I feel just as confident as ever, but I can't wait for all the glitz and glam after changing all these nappies.
Imagine. No, but coming back to what you say, no, I think you should definitely embrace it, because being a mom is the biggest sacrifice job. I haven't been, I'm sorry for saying that, but I just can, from outside, I look at it and I'm like, Natalia, you really need to be ready, because that's a sacrifice to your mental and physical health, and extreme work for the rest of your life. So I think you should walk in there with the crown on and show all of us, all of those girls, like, you have no idea, girl. I'm the queen in him.
Good idea. I'm going to take that advice.
Yeah, so you're going to be the presenter, right? If I'm correct. So
yes.
Do you have any special outfits, or are you going to be in a long gown, or are you going to try to maybe expose some part of your bodies?
I think because we've all had such a difficult year and it's been full of restrictions and doom and gloom, I'm going to come back with the most sparkly, over-the-top dress. I'm thinking cutouts so they can see the slim waist, even though I've had a baby. Yeah, I'm going to go all out, I think. It has to be done.
I think you should, because I've just seen a little bit of your Instagram, and I was thinking actually you had the baby at least 2-3 months ago, but now you're saying 2 weeks, so I'm blown away, because you just great. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you.
Seamless, nothing that you should feel I don't know, uncomfortable and insecure about. So how, going back to our next questions, how do you find time to look after your mental and physical health while being a mom to a newborn?
Nothing can compare you for how intense it will be, especially for someone who's a massive advocate for self-care. I used to love a 2-hour bath, face pack, go on holiday at the drop of a hat. So it is very, very intense to suddenly be in charge of this little life. But luckily his dad took 3 weeks off work, so we've been sharing night shifts, and it's meant that I've had time to do things like this, which is very important for what I do. And he will have him when I do host Miss Swimsuit. And I think making sure that you still have me time, and been going for my little walks, which eventually will be proper workouts. You have to do that, because otherwise if your cup isn't full, then you can't give to your baby. So you need to be feeling good to be able to be a good mum to them.
Exactly. That's always what I say. You have to be a little, in a healthy way, selfish in order to be a great mom, great worker, great wife, great girlfriend, whatever is that. You do need to spend that time with yourself to be able to give to others. I remember watching once Oprah Winfrey interview when she was saying that people accuse her of being so full of herself, and she was like, damn right, I am full of myself, because my cup needs to be overloaded for me to give something to others. Because why would I take something from myself to please others? I need to be fully happy, fully satisfied with who I am in order to give the best I can, the best I have to others. So I completely agree with that. So healthy selfishness or take care of yourself is much, much needed. Are you getting much sleep or not so much? This little party baby, huh?
He sleeps all day and he parties all night.
Did it take it from one of the parents or not really?
Yeah, both of us before him.
Wow.
He's braver like and dad.
Yeah. So tell us more about your physical and emotional well-being during and after the pregnancy. I think during is very important, how you cope with such a big change to your body, especially for someone who is a model. You're normally super fit, flat, you can wear anything, and now all of a sudden you have that body change. So how can moms keep healthy and reduce that anxiety, stress about our body changing?
It is really difficult, I think, because there's a point where you get a big bump where everyone, if you're wearing the right dress, will be like, wow, you're beautiful, you're glowing, so cute. But you've got this massive in-between stage where you go from extremely trim to just looking a bit bloated, and you can't tell anyone before 12 weeks really, and your waist now doesn't do up on your jeans. So yeah, it is really, really hard. And I think my best advice would be go out and buy loads of new clothes that flatter your new figure. Make sure you get your hair done, do your makeup, or eat healthy, do well, because you feel sick, you've got your head down the toilet for the first 9 weeks. A lot of people, they give you dry skin, thirsty all the time, you get heightened anxiety, so you really, really have to put yourself first. It was quite weird for me to see so many changes, because I've always been extremely body confident, and then all of a sudden you feel this vulnerability which you just have to kind of ride with. But yeah, I wouldn't say I loved being pregnant, but I embraced it as much as I could.
Was it very difficult, your pregnancy, or wasn't? I had a friend of mine who said her pregnancy was terribly difficult pregnancy, that she adores her baby, she dies for him, but the pregnancy itself was very traumatic for her. How was it for you?
Mine was not too bad at all. It was okay. I was pretty sick at the beginning, but then I was fine. A little bit of anxiety, which I've never had before. I'm a very confident, positive person, so that was a little bit difficult. But I know people who have it a lot worse. I've got a couple friends who were just sick the entire way through, which then means having to take time off work and then losing money. So they had a lot more stress than I did. I think the body changes were harder after, because I came out of the operation, and your stomach doesn't go down straight away. It takes, well, obviously it's different for everyone, but I went from a tiny tummy to this big bump to then this weird in-between tummy that wasn't going away. And I think C-sections take longer to go down because it's unnatural for your body. So I'd just look in the mirror and your boobs go really veiny before you breastfeed. And I was like, oh my God, who am I? Where's my body? But luckily for me, I have kind of bounced back very quickly. But I think if you don't, you just have to think you've created life. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. Be proud of what you've done.
Fully agree. So can you say something about the pandemic and a pregnancy? Was this situation that we're facing right now, COVID-19, has it affected your pregnancy or made it more difficult? Or could you, well, obviously you haven't been pregnant before, but could you see the difference of the pregnancy that you're going through and maybe the pregnancies that people go through before that?
I'd say there were pros and cons. So the negatives were that we had a lot less midwife appointments. So if I had any questions, they were so overworked, they would never reply to me. So thank goodness for communities on Instagram where there's a lot of midwives who share a lot of information, because if it wasn't for them, I would have been clueless. And I don't have a lot of mum friends. Most of my friends are models living their best life. I've only got one sort of mummy friend, so I could only ask her. Also, there was no I think they call them antenatal groups where they teach you stuff. You couldn't do that face to face. It's all on Zoom, and I think that's fine for something like what we're doing. But if you're really needing like advice on how to breastfeed and hold them, you need to be face to face with that kind of thing. But the positives were, I love partying and I love seeing my friends. So the fact that a lot of that wasn't going on whilst I was pregnant, it took away the FOMO, you know, when you have the fear.
There you go, something positive out of this. Yeah, exactly. So you didn't feel like, oh, I'm missing out or something. I just want to be there partying. Yeah, but definitely I can see that, especially with something so physical like your baby and touching and breastfeeding and teaching, and even for your partner to be there, experience, you know, all the different exercises on the bowl that you do, even the fitness together that you can do while you're pregnant. Unfortunately, that wasn't so accessible for you, so I can only imagine how difficult that must have been. Only rely on Zoom, books, articles, and something that is not physical but only visual. Listen, you know, watch something. So props for you to actually, you know, doing this and still making the best out of it as a mom. Did you have any form of anxiety during the pandemic while you were pregnant? Did that affected your mood, your mental health or well-being, or you didn't think about it too much? Because, you know, we're thinking not everything will be this accessible. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's vaccination. I don't know about yourself. My family is abroad. So now I'm thinking, oh my God, my mom wouldn't be able to come to help me out. You know, all these little things, and especially when you're pregnant, you're more sensitive. Start to hit you really hard. Did you have anything of that? Any form of anxiety or worries?
I was never scared of getting it or passing it to my baby. That wasn't a fear I had. I had a fear of the vaccination. I was pregnant, and I know people are have very different opinions on whether they want the vaccination or not. But whilst being pregnant, it was definitely a no-go for me. And I had one contract where I could only work if I'd had it. So they were pushing and pushing and pushing. And I thought, I can't believe they're trying to convince me when I'm pregnant, like that it hasn't been tested enough. I don't want to risk it. So that was something that I found very stressful, because I then had to turn down that job because I thought, well, I'm not going to take this risk. And like you say, when you're pregnant, you're a lot more sensitive, vulnerable and emotional. So I was like, oh my God, I'm losing work and I don't know if I'll get work again after being pregnant. So that was all very, very tense for me. And even the fact that we weren't really allowed to see our family. So in the times when I just wanted to go to my mum's and get her to make me lunch and cry to her because I was so emotional, I couldn't do that because she was high risk. So that was difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you know, we touched up on this a little before, but if you can maybe a little elaborate, how or does taking care of yourself makes you a better mom?
I think first and foremost, I don't want to teach Valentino, that's his name, that when he has a child, that his life should stop. I don't want that to be the message. And if I stop doing everything for myself and I don't do my own jobs and my own self-care, then that's basically the message I'm giving him, that once I had him, I only live for him. And I don't think that that would make me a good mum. Secondly, if I haven't had any sleep and I'm exhausted and I don't feel positive and inspired myself, there's no way I can be breastfeeding him with a smile on my face and reading books like, look, it's a shark. I just wouldn't be like that. I'd be like, oh my God, I hate this. So yeah, the happier I am, the better I am going to be for him. I think it's a no-brainer, really. But I think it's good that you touch on it, because I think a lot of mums, they know that deep down, but they think they've got to just keep doing it all and not asking for help. And that's when they get run down and then can't be a good mum. So yeah, accept all the help. I've let my sister-in-law do my washing. I've let my mum come around and make lunches for us. Take the help.
So yeah, don't be afraid to ask and receive a help, because we women tend to have that need of doing everything on our own, or that is some form of shame to ask for help, but it's not, especially in such a hard time like COVID right now. So, you know, we should ask for help if we need it, especially in such a vulnerable times as pre or post a pregnancy period, you know. So how did you've said it a little bit, but how did you get your body back? Because I see all these pictures on Instagram and you, like I said, you do look great. There's nothing, I would never say you had a C-section. So could you give any advice to ladies who are pregnant or maybe want to get back to shape, who are listening to the show? what to do to gradually healthy get your body back?
So I will be honest, I religiously put oils on my bump twice a day, even though I was exhausted. I was working very long hours whilst I was pregnant, but I religiously made sure I put that oil on just in case that it helped, and I think it did. I think
what
some of it
oils, if you could say to us, what type of oils?
So I didn't use bio oil, but I have heard that's the best one. But I used a brand called Kit and Kin. It's just a stretch mark oil. And then there was another one called Mama Mio. And it's just their stretch mark oils, basically. When I ran out of one of the Kit and Kin, I went on to the Mama Mio one. And I don't have any stretch marks. I think that people should embrace them if they get them. But for me, going back to modelling, it is a lifesaver that I don't. Just because the type of modelling I do is quite glam, a lot of swimwear, and it is better not to have them. Also, I think I wanted to go for a run as soon as I had given birth. I feel like I hate laying in bed, but I didn't. I made sure that I did rest and take it easy, because your body has to recover. Otherwise, you'll set yourself back even further. So I think the fact that I did spend the first week not doing anything other than holding him and, making food, that meant that I didn't rupture my scar and then get set back. So now I've been able to go for my walks, and I think breastfeeding as well. Apparently it shrinks your uterus back in. So breastfeeding is difficult, but if you persist, it does help you lose the baby weight.
Yeah, I've heard that too, that when you breastfeed, your metabolism is faster.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I've craved drinking Coke and loads of sweets, but instead of that, I have been going for water or sparkling water. And when you're tired as well, you want the sugar, but I've just been avoiding it because I think I definitely ate for two in pregnancy. So now's the time to cut back.
Have you put much weight during your pregnancy, or how many kilos was it?
So I don't know in kilos, but I put on over 2 stones. So that's a lot. So I'll let you do the translation on that.
I will do it for myself. 2 stones. Okay, all right. Well, like you said, just embrace it because you've created a life. So what's your beauty routine, apart from the oils that you were putting during pregnancy? What is your routine after pregnancy, and not just thinking of the pregnancy in general, if you can give us a little bit of hints to whoever is out there and don't know what to do?
So whilst I was pregnant, I think it's quite common when you're pregnant with a boy, you just get all the glow and all the beauty. So I wasn't really doing anything. My hair was thicker, my skin was just radiant. But now I've given birth, he's taken all that goodness with him. So I'm putting on an illuminating day cream every day. Just gives you that glow and shine. I think I really like the glowy look. What else have I been doing? I've been putting on gradual tan moisturizer over all my body, because you can't sunbathe with a newborn. So in this heat wave, I've had to do my own little secret tanning instead of sunbathing. But that's all really. I don't do a lot. I'm actually quite a rubbish girl. I'm not good at makeup. I like makeup artists to do it. Just drink loads of water. That's my only advice.
That's what they say, yeah. Do you have any tips in terms of workouts for newborn moms, apart from walking and perhaps going for little jogs?
I think if you can, get doing some yoga, even if it involves the baby as well. I've heard a lot of people who take their babies to the yoga class and they do a little bit of them at the beginning, then set them down, and then they do their own thing. But I think yoga is nice and relaxed, and you're not going to overdo anything straight away. Also, pelvic floor, massively important, whether you've had a natural birth or C-section, because all those muscles have been played with and messed around with. So yeah, just do your pelvic floor as much as possible. What I do is every time I'm feeding him, I think, right, I'll do a few sets of them now. And obviously no one knows you're doing it, so it's fine.
Have you experienced or anything about the depression that sometimes happens to new moms after they give a birth? They tend to go a little down on their moods. Have you heard about it? Have you experienced that? Can you say anything about it?
So I know quite a few of my friends have had it, openly talk about it. A lot of them never had any problems before. And then unfortunately, quite a lot of them are now on antidepressant tablets. Luckily, I haven't had that. And I was almost surprised because I'm very, very emotional. So I was almost expecting to get the baby blues or something, but I don't know if it's just the adrenaline or maybe it might still come, but it's just not been something that I've had. But the midwives, they do ask you at every follow-up appointment. So if it is something you're struggling with, it does seem like there's a lot of support out there for you.
Okay, yeah, because I've heard a lot, especially recently, happens to new moms that they do struggle with the mental health. That is such an important thing in our life in general. So my advice is always, no matter how hard it is, try to do anything that is physical, because the physical activity creates the endorphins. Endorphins is a natural hormone of happiness. So apart from you seeking for a professional medical help and perhaps some medication, I do tend to always encourage to do anything that is related to physical activities, because the endorphins is something that you cannot replace.
I'm glad you said that, because although I mentioned that my friends, some of them are on antidepressants, I'm quite anti any medical intervention of any sort. I agree. Eating healthy, seeing friends, and you're doing you, and you're working out, and you're getting moving, you're getting outside. That is the best remedy for any kind of depression or sadness or stress. Mm-hmm. It's a good place to start.
Yeah. So, okay, I want to move to something that we always have on my show, which is called the Fat or the Facts. Now, this time, because we speak about something very important, which is pregnancy, and I feel a lot of responsibilities to inform moms and even their partners of what they can do and how they can look after their physical and mental health while they're pregnant or even after. And if you have any tips or you agree or disagree, please correct me, because obviously you're the one who is experiencing that and I'm just the one who is doing my research and studying it. So let's go to the first one. If you want to start getting your pre-body back, then start walking or jogging with your baggie about 6 weeks after your baby is born. And if you feel up to it, palm walking is a fantastic workout. And I think you just actually said it a few times beforehand. So you agree on that?
Definitely. Yeah, that's definitely
the way. While you're pushing the baggie, it's also arm work and apart from cardio. So I think that's a great starting point. And after C-section, they say 6 weeks, obviously in general, but I guess you started to do it right after 2 weeks and you feel okay. So, and you've been under supervision. So I do believe that everything has to be under a doctor control, but you can actually.
You also know your body better than anyone else. So as long as you're being sensible, I think you can make that decision. Definitely.
Okay. Perfect. Another one. If you cycle every day, taking your child to nursery, for example, it will make a big difference to your overall fitness. So cycling is a very safe thing to lose weight too, because there's a lot of cardio, a lot of fitness. And then now we're talking here about the nursery. Obviously, you're not at that stage yet, but that's something that you can consider while your baby's slightly bigger. Maybe if you even going to take it to your mom's house or friend's house, cycling is something that is highly recommended. What's your thoughts about it?
I love cycling. I think it's a little bit dangerous now in the UK. The roads or the cars can be a little bit funny, but I think if you've got a nice route, which is, you know, off the roads, nice cycle route, then absolutely, I think that's a really good, like, low impact exercise, but also very difficult when you're going up hills and things like that.
Exactly. Okay, another one which is connected to walking. Walking is one of the best ways new moms can get fit. You can do it every day, plus it's a low impact and easy on your joints, which we already said before. So yes, walking, especially now in COVID, anywhere you can, just walk. Next one, I think that's important one too. Swimming wins the award for one of the safest exercises for a pregnant woman. Swimming puts no pressure on your joints and ligaments, and it's extremely helpful to a pregnant woman not only exercise but also feel lighter while doing it. You can certainly get a great workout, burn calories without any impacts. Do you agree? Have you tried it?
Yes, I went swimming at least once a week when I was at the later stages, because when you've got a big bump, getting in that pool, it relieves all the pressure, all your muscles around here which are aching. So nice. Even if you have one of those long floats to support your upper body and your bump a little bit, but you're still using your legs a lot, I think definitely swimming, I couldn't recommend it more.
Great form of exercises, my ladies. And a last one, while functional training might be controversial to some, there are safe ways to strength training while being conscious of the growing baby inside of you. Work with a trainer to help you move safely throughout your pregnancy. The trainer will watch your body and create exercises that will make you stronger and possibly reduce recovery time after delivery. If you've been training long before your pregnancy, for instance, long before you become pregnant, you're likely to be able to continue your routine. So as long as you stay with your doctor and the doctor says, okay, thumbs up, you can do it. So I've heard a lot of questions about the functional training, but as we can hear, it is possible, it is safe. You just need to be very, very careful and very aware of your body. Have you tried it?
Yeah, so I was working out a lot before. So with my PT, we just continued until I got too uncomfortable and it wasn't kind of working. But I know a lot of female PTs. There's one who's actually pregnant at the moment. That's my baby's dad coming to get the cat out. And she works out, and she's got a massive bump and she's fine. She's doing really, really well. I think it actually encourages a quicker labour, like you say, better recovery. I actually had a miscarriage before this successful pregnancy, and a lot of people were like, oh, it's probably because you were too active. It's because you went kayaking. And the doctor and the nurses said, absolutely not. It's something that happens to a lot of people, and working out is not going to be something that is a risk to your baby, unless obviously you're doing something really over the top. But I think if you use your common sense, you'll usually be absolutely fine.
And especially if you've done it before your pregnancy, it's more likely for you to be just keep doing this. They actually encourage you, keep doing what you were doing. But of course, I don't know, for example, me, I'm a boxer, just avoid any form of heavy punches to your body, because that's obvious. Of
course, yeah.
And running, swimming, weightlifting, you can do it. Just always make sure you consultant with someone who has more knowledge about it, or with the doctors. And do not listen to people that they just say something out of the blue. I'm not saying don't have conversation about it, and don't try to have a little bit of reasonable arguments here and there, but you do have to listen to people who are specialized in either fitness or their doctors, so they can really, really direct you in the right direction.
Yeah.
So, that's it from me. Do you have any facts or fads that you came across while you were pregnant or after pregnancy that you could share with us? Is there anything there that you could think of?
Not particularly, but I did
mention the one very important, which when you had your miscarriage, that it's because you were exercising. I think that's the biggest misconception fad that exists right out there. So I think that's one.
Yeah, my father-in-law and my mum both said, oh, I think it might be because of that. And so obviously when people who are in your family say that, you think, oh goodness, is it? But then I spoke to all the nurses at the hospital and the doctor, and they said absolutely not. So yeah, definitely don't be scared if you've been fit in your life.
In a certain way, right? It's like, oh, I should have been.
Oh my God, I've done.
yeah, I've done it, is because of me. So that also people don't understand, but that puts a lot of guilt and pressure on you as a mother, as a female, that, oh, maybe I did something wrong. So it's very important to pay attention to comments that you make, especially if you're not specialized in something.
Absolutely.
Make everyone aware of that, because that's something that unfortunately we as a human struggle with. We have so many opinions and we are judgmental by the nature, but it's very important to have that common sense of what to say and how to say it, when to say it, because you don't know how certain comments can affect someone and in which way. So I think that's a very important thing that you just said. Amazing. Anything you can share or advise to any ladies that are pregnant or post-pregnant out there? Any last words of wisdom?
My one piece of advice would be, when you're pregnant and then when you've had the baby, you will be inundated with advice, tips, opinions of how to do something, how to do this, how to make them sleep, how to breastfeed, how they should do this. Go with your gut and only take advice if you're asking them. If they do it without you asking, just let it go straight over your head, because otherwise you will be so overwhelmed. You're the mum of your baby. You know better than hundreds of people telling you something different. So yeah, I'd say go with your own mind.
Perfect. And on that note, we're going to finish. Thank you so much, Poppy, to taking your time. I know it takes a lot to actually generate that little bit of time for something like this. Thank you. I will see you very soon. I'm excited to meet you in person. And you have a lovely rest of your day. A lot of health for you and your baby daddy. And thank you again.
Yeah, sorry he came in half naked halfway.
Okay. That's okay. Little entertainment. You have a lovely day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. By finding an exercise you enjoy, you won't feel like it's such a difficult task to do. Chances are you will be more inclined to do it regularly and less likely to give up after a few weeks. It doesn't need to be nothing extremely hard. Anything which raises your heart rate is doing you good. Go for a walk with your little one in the baggie and get more of a workout from pushing or carrying the weight of your baby. Find a class where you can bring your baby along with you. When your baby is napping or having a snack, why not try a 10-minute workout? You can get a DVD, online workout, or even put your own sequence together, combining press-ups, squats, to give you a whole body workout. Baby will probably find it extremely interesting watching you moving around in the living room. Why not get someone to watch your little one for just a while you go swimming, running, or attend a yoga class, if this is an option, of course. By finding someone, you might really release the stress of whole day. I hope you enjoyed today's episode as well as our short workout together. Share with me your thoughts, comments, DM me with your life stories. If you have any questions or you would like me to talk about any particular subject, please contact me. Follow me on Instagram, Fitness with NK, where you can leave your message. Make sure you visit my website, www.nataliakotowska.com. Thank you for tuning in, thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.